Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Microtopia, the game where you take ants, you feed ants, you use ants to make stuff. If you love ants and you love automating stuff, well, play this game. It's just, I don't know. um, anyway, um, here we are again. Welcome back. Let's go a little bit over what we did in the previous episode because um, I'm not quite sure how the audio sounded in that episode, so I wanted to go over that. Basically what we do is, like I said, we take the ants and we feed the queen so that she can birth more ants, because each of these ants is on a lifespan, a limited lifespan. So, we require them to do all the work in our colony. Um, but if we only have them for a short amount of time, we need to keep our queen, who is the only ant we have capable of producing new ants, um, happy and not hungry. Um, every time we feed her, it builds up this bar, this energy bar, and if she reaches full energy on this one, you see how it says stage 5. It can go higher than that, I believe stage 9 or 12. I don't know, it goes up there for a ways. Eventually get a bunch of ants. As you can see right now, we have 100 populations, so when we fulfill this bar full of energy, our population will increase. Here also it says 10 larvae per minute. That will also increase. Currently we have 52 population. So we're using our ants to do multiple things. First, again, they feed the queen, but immediately after that, the next most important job they have is gathering energy for the queen. We do that by using the counter gates to determine how many ants we want to do each project. So we have two separate groups gathering energy. We have one group processing ores into blocks. We have these couples immortal ants here gathering for us our raw resource that we have on this island, one of 4 resources we have on this island. We'll need all of them, but we'll get into that more in the episode. So we use, again, these ants to do multiple jobs, right? Then taking each raw resource, combining it, or putting it into a burner, turning it into blocks, turn the blocks into another kind of machine to create new resources, which we use to create new ants and do other things like that, new buildings, or even just simply placing down new types of flooring and things like that. It's kind of cool. And we can do that to make our base more planned out perfectly, set out nice. And so what we are going to do today is focus on a little bit of technology upgrades. All of these lower technologies here, I mean, the tech tree is very large, as I showed at the end of the episode yesterday, but it is the whole foundation here is extremely important. So you really want to focus on building up your research points as quickly as possible, so you can get through there and really unlock all the different trails that help you to achieve your goals, such as when the ants age, you can have them automatically go into the combiner instead of manually putting them in the combiner, which, if you don't remember, you take ants, you combine them, they become a new type of ant, and then the small worker ants have 5 minutes lifespan. The large worker ants have 10 minutes. So you use your workers wisely. You can get work out of them by doing their job while they're fully healthy and not old. And once they're old, you have them leave and then come into the combiner. That's a basic system that you have in place, and you're going to use that as much as possible. You also get these little tutorials, and currently we're on Instinct 20, which is asking us to get some fabric. We haven't unlocked fabric yet. We just unlocked plant cutting, I think, at the end of the episode. We really, again, we want all these things, but we'll get more into that. And the next idea is to collect fiber. We collect fiber from these weeds here. But before we do that, we're going to have to refactor and reiterate on what we've learned. Because you see here, this ant is barely able to keep up with the demand. Like he's going to catch this one and have to walk by here. So we'll need a third incubator, which means we're going to have to remove some of this stuff, which is fine. We have plenty of space and plenty of time. You know, we're not hurting anybody. Let this guy do his thing one more time, and then that's it for you, sucker. Okay. Let's get rid of all these, because we are going to need to get out there and utilize that space more efficiently. Looks like these guys forgot their place. It's fine. So let's make this trail longer, just by a little bit. Under the population tab, we'll get another incubator, and we'll just increase how far this guy has to walk. Don't forget to connect your trails. And now, looks like we can utilize all available larvae without waiting. That's what we want, most of all. So let's get this out of the way. Again, we're going to have to refactor and reiterate on what we've learned. And in fact, this trail here is not very efficient. It doesn't really, you know, it can be better. He gets there in time to put a larva in the incubator, but he could get there quicker. And we're not hurting for ants right now, so let's go ahead and take this and make it better. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a divider to allow this guy to go to different incubators at a time. What I mean is he's going to be able to choose his path every time he selects a larva. So first time he'll go to this first one, then the second one, and then the third one. And that's what we want. And then all we have to do is connect these lines, put our worker back on there, and you can see now he'll go first and go immediately back. And then you use this bypass line. Oh, it looks like he went to the outside one first. Use the bypass line to go right back. Just a little bit quicker, a little bit more efficient in shape and form. Now you can see we constantly have all three of them pretty much are full. Before, one of them was empty, and that was because it took him so long to walk all the way around. This way we use only one ant, what would it otherwise take two ants to do? Why use two ant when one ant do the trick? So, you know. Okay, looks like we need some more over here. Bring this over here, bring these guys this way too. We'll add one more here. Okay. Let's keep making small workers into large workers, and then eventually we're going to make... We should actually do that now. I think we have plenty of stuff. Yeah, I think we have plenty of stuff. So let's make another one of these, and this will be pretty much exclusively for the large workers to turn into inventor ants to get us research points. Let's send these. I have these spare workers over here, which they may be... Yep, they're turning gray right now. Perfect. Looks like one died. It's unfortunate. Well, looks like you're sacrificed. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay. One thing I did want to talk about too is that I don't necessarily condone cheesing or, you know, exploiting games and things like that, but in certain cases, a game like this where space is limited throughout this individual islands, I'm going to condone it. And one thing you can do is you can eliminate these straggler flowers or the weeds, and they will regrow elsewhere on the island within a short span of time. What we're hoping for is to have them regrow into our large stockpile over here. And in fact, if you see here, I think I noticed earlier that so, yeah, this one doesn't have anything going to it. That's not good. Neither does this one. Let's wait for them to pass. Get those. Okay. So yeah, see how you waste all these ants way out here because you can't pay attention to them, but you know, eventually we'll be able to send them all the way back to us without having to think about it, and we can focus on other things, and that's what we really want to get to. So let's get an ant in here working too. Again, it's pretty tedious without all the different gates, things like that, that alleviate you having to do it by hand. Everything by hand, that is. But for the early game, you know, it makes that transition more worthwhile, if you know what I mean. So see, now if you look up here, we are cooking. We are cruising. Let's just start getting these adventure ants going, because we really need them. And we have too many ants doing nothing, so we can just do that now. But we don't really need to do anything. In fact, you know, we could probably do something like this if we wanted. That's fine. Okay, look, that's good. That's one. Sorry, buddy. You're not long for this world. Neither are you. It's okay, at this point we don't really need much. We're not doing much. We have found this other island, which we found at the end of the episode last time. And if you look at this here, it has a different color fruit. So these flowers produce a yellow one, these flowers produce a green one. And this is the level 2 energy pot, if you notice down there at the bottom. Excuse me there, sorry. But we haven't even begun to explore this island. Like, it has different resources. We have copper, we have glass. We're still a ways away from there. But at the same time, we are very close. So we just need to keep moving, working on getting our technology up. Yep. So we also need to get some fiber, so I guess we could do that part. But the thing is, these small ants, they can't do the job of cutting. So we also need to use the large ants to do that. Which cuts into our ability to use do research. But we aren't hurting for small ants, so. Always don't forget to put your storage piles down. Bad habit. Put a second one there. Get some more in here. I guess we could do this now with a count gate. Don't forget we can use counter gates to tell how many ants we want on a trail. And a good rule of thumb is to, if you click on the counter gate and the trail inside the counter gate, within the counter gate, as well as the counter gate is all green, and you have a valid trail. And that's something that was very perplexing to me when I first started this game, on why sometimes ants would enter the trail when I didn't want them to, when I clearly had an ant in there, you know, they didn't belong there. So, but eventually I figured that out. If you look here, it's the same thing. And it goes all the way over there. So, same thing here with this one. The divider gate. So we're just chugging along, gathering resources as best we can for now, because you know, we are building a fledgling colony. I know we have 100 ants, and that, or wow, we're capable. We surpassed stage 5, and now we're getting 11 ants per minute. And with a max population of 150, we only have 58 ants. So as you can see in the beginning, this is a good way to supercharge your queen, which is nice because you know, these ants are keeping up all right, and we are producing ants as quickly as we want, which is the lifeblood of the colony and what we need to sustain us going forward, right? Since every ant, you know, in the colony is valuable, it only has a limited lifespan. We want to use their lifespans as wisely as we can, except for in this case. So we really want to get 50 research points to unlock this old gate. That's going to help us tremendously. It's going to allow us to not have to babysit our projects as often. As you can see, things take a long time. I mean, you know, that's what this game is about. Using your time efficiently and wisely. And you know, if you don't do that, then get yourself in trouble in the long run. Because everything builds on the foundation of the very beginning of the game, right? That's not to say that you can't, you know, you're going to lose the game, but you can set yourself back very easily if you miscalculate or you know, take something to be too good to be true. In a game like this, it definitely does not help. So always be thinking about what your goal is, immediate goal, as well as, you know, old goal or long-term goals, things like that, and how your short-term goals are going to help you achieve your long-term goals. I think that's an important one. Okay. So sometimes again we're just, you know, we're using our ants improperly, but you know, at this point we just want to make sure we're making steady progress, because we have plenty of everything we need at this point. Oh man, hopefully he gets there in time. Okay, he's got plenty of time. Okay. We'll pick him up immediately after. Him or her, right? No discriminating. Dads don't discriminate. That's pretty much exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want. And this is full. You see how quickly they produce the goods? So let's move that out of the way and we'll create a new stockpile for them to put into. So otherwise, look, they just die right there with it in their hands. We don't want that. Okay, looks like we're about to get our 50th research point there. get the technology that we want. It'll save us a little bit of tedium going forward. Running a little low there, I think. Can get those going again, but that's like they pop up really fast once you start producing. Okay, let's do this first. Let's let that actually transition. There we go, old gate, and then eventually we'll get the Elder Trail. Upgrade 100 old units. Look, we've already put ourselves in the process of doing that, so you know, we're achieving goals we didn't even know we had. Let's use this old ant as well. This old ant, I think that was a show on HGTV or something like that. Okay, so we picked up a new trail, the old gate. Let's show you how this works. So we create the old gate, and then we create a trail for the old ants to wander on. From there, we can create, you know, where we can use our combiner here to create new ants, but you know, this is not a full-time solution. This is basically, it's an accident waiting to happen, right? A waste of our time. And in fact, I've done this wrong. I should not do it that way. The best way to do the combiner is to do something like this, and then have the ant wander on the path. That way they hit both entrances, when you always have one ant waiting to go in the combiner. But here's the deal. You have two types of ants wandering on this path, right? And you have no way of knowing or distinguishing which ant is going to go into this combiner. So you know, that's just a traffic jam waiting to happen. Eventually you're going to have these ants wandering around on the path, and they don't pick up anything. All they do, they suck stuff up, and you know, all they do is just eat and pop. So you know, they don't do anything to benefit us in that way, so we don't want them on that trail. But how do we distinguish, you know, which ants are what? Well, I mean, that's coming up. That's coming up soon, and that's going to be one of our next goals, is to further delineate which ants go to which combiners and when do they go there. Because, again, we can automate all this process, and I'll show you what I mean. Now, if we take this Elder Gate from here after the drop-off point of the stockpile, we can then create a new circuit, you know, essentially, that says, okay, you go from your job when you're old, instead of dying over here, and then you go to the elderly waiting area, you combine with another ant, get back on the line. Look at now how stocked up our ant line is. It's just out of control, right? We're gonna achieve this no problem here. We're gonna be producing so many ants, we won't even need to think about it. Eventually we'll slow down again, but we're not worried about that at the moment. We don't have that big of a colony. Stop it. Okay. There. We need you to be here, and then we need you to be here. Yep. Do your work. Thank you. And we only want you to do work until you're old. So when you're old, and after you've dropped everything off, please exit the queue. Go combine with something else. This person also, needs to get out of here and get back in line. So now we know we're going to run into a problem, right? Because the next ant that's elderly from this trail is going to be a large ant. And if a large ant goes in there, what does it combine with? Another large ant, and it turns into one of these ants. So we already know we're in a traffic jam. So we want to get this going as quickly as we can with as many of these ants as possible. Keep the energy flowing as well. In fact, we should do that here. Let's make another counter gate with quite a few. You know, we have enough. Let's do 4. Yeah. And you can always be keeping your elder gates in the right spots. Watch which way your trail goes. And do it on the far side. Save yourself a lot of headache. Eventually you get a way to stop that, but you know, at this point, it's fine. So far so good. It looks like our timer's almost up, so we'll be wrapping this episode up shortly, but we'll be continuing right away. I think we have about 30 more minutes before I have more chores to do. One thing I did want to talk about as a dad, doesn't it feel good to do all your chores, to do what needs to be done before you do the things you want to do? Don't you feel like you have so much more time when you do that? Just thought that was a good thing to think about. Right in time, nice segue. We have completed this optimizing life, so if we go in here, we have unlocked the ability to get a new building, which is a recycler, which we'll talk about eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there. Null trail, I definitely want to get that, so I will take that. And this main trail, we'll talk about that later. We don't need that, but we want to get up in here. We definitely want to get this elder trail, and we want to get these new kinds of ants here, which we're working on getting. I think we can get the assembler, but we need to make fabric. That's right. Okay, so let's do that before we end. Or actually, no, we're not. Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll pick this right back up in a couple minutes. Take care.